I'm Liesl and I'm playing Quasimodo.
Hi, I'm Harriet and I'm playing Esmeralda.
Zoe Gibb, I'm playing Frollo.
I am Alex and I am playing Madame.
Hello, my name's Nat Ingham and I play Captain Phoebus.
I'm Millie Quine and I'm playing Clopine.
My name's Jess and I play a gypsy dancer.
So my name's Rachel and I'm the director of the show.
How do you think casting went?
I think it went really well. It was a really fun day in the auditions.
Quite tense because nobody really knew what was going to happen.
I'd done like previous things like for the college, like singing in bits, so musical theatre had seen that I was like capable of singing and doing like acting and things like that. So they approached me and asked me if I'd audition for the part. So
It was hard, it was intense, as it should be and as it would be in the industry, but I think the castings worked out really well.
And then they called me back in and told me to do something differently and I just broke. I fell on the floor and cried and everyone was crying, and it was just such a powerful moment because it wasn't like a big achievement as a performer or anything. It's just I really felt the character more than I've ever felt a character before.
People have ended up in the roles that they should be in, for the most part.
Do you have many past experiences with acting?
Yeah, I've been doing like amateur productions for about 8 years. So this is like one of the coolest shows I've ever done, but I have done quite a bit.
I've been performing since I was 3, so I've done lots of shows at different venues and stuff, but it's a cool experience doing it at the amphitheatre.
A little bit, not much. So in secondary school for the first 3 years, I was part of a Christmas pantomime, and then just experience from the past 2 years of the course.
At the beginning of last year, before COVID hit, I was able to be in a production of Chicago the musical, and that was one of my first major musicals, so it just made me realise that this is what I wanted to do, and this is just another experience.
I've acted since I was 8. I started out in little plays and then I've done a lot of amateur dramatics over the past couple of years and been involved in quite a few theatre companies as well.
I've been dancing since I was 2 and I've been doing shows for about 10 years now, I'd say. So how do you think the early rehearsals went?
They were difficult because the prologue is so long. It was full of harmonies, full of so many little nitty bits, but once we got through that, it was streams full ahead and it just went amazing.
the first rehearsals, for me, it was like a bit rocky at first because I was obviously like pretty new to it all, like coming in. Like just been handed a script like near enough on the day and sort of thrown into, because they'd already like started the prologue and things like that. But as things went on, I sort of like found my ground, and then I think it's just been quite smooth up until now.
Again, they were pretty tough because it's a brand new group. We've never worked with each other like this before, especially with COVID. We've all been in our separate years. So all of us coming together and having to learn how to work together and where the strengths lie. It was definitely difficult, but now that we've got through that and we've come together, I'm really happy with how it's gone.
I think they went well. I was surprised by how quickly we dived into everything. Like, it's such a big dramatic show, and I think we hit the nail on the head on day one. And so I think that was the perfect way to just get the ball rolling, because since day one we've just been working hard every single day. So I think we started pretty well, and it's still going well today.
I think the first rehearsals were, as a cast went really, really good actually. Quite a lot of us haven't worked together in the past, so I think it was really nice to get some new faces and see some familiar ones as well.
I really enjoyed the whole rehearsal process. I think it's been really good. At the start, obviously, we're all trying to find our feet, but looking back, it's been a real journey, and I think it's nice to kind of have enjoyed it with the group that we're in.
How do you think COVID's affected the production? It's been really hard, especially when you're trying to build a bond with other people that play in the characters, because obviously you can't make any contact. But, you know, we're handling it, we're looking at it, and we're adapting to doing other things. So it is still moving along, but it's been hard.
Well, obviously, I think the biggest thing is wearing masks, because it's been really strange acting with people. There's such a big thing about how you have to have a connection with the castmates that you're working with. I think it's also helped us all to act with our eyes even more, so that's one of the best ways to connect. So in a way it's been good, even though it was difficult.
This is my first full college show due to last year being struck by COVID, so yeah, I'm super excited and loving the process so far.
It's meant we've had to change up some elements, so obviously no touching, there's been distancing. It's made some of the singing and visual facial acting quite hard because of the masks.
The weak one, you the wicked one, and the wicked shall not go unpunished.
And on the whole, it's not had too much of an effect on the quality. It's still going to be a fantastic musical.
I think because it is quite a dramatic production, definitely kind of with COVID restrictions and things, it's been hard to get that kind of vibe in the rehearsal room, but we've had to find our ways to get there, and it's defo, I think, brought us a lot closer because we've had to go through that together and things.
I think it's affected it quite a lot, but we've journeyed on, which has been good.
We've all had to wear masks when we've been performing, so the sound and the volume and the balance of the harmonies hasn't been as effective as it would have been if we were able to have them off, but we've got through it.
There is a lot of romance in this show, and it's been really hard to show a romantic connection, like having to be a metre apart. And we've had to wear masks in all the rehearsals, so it's really hard to show emotion behind a mask.
And these are all things that you don't normally consider when you're directing a show. Normally you go, oh, they get to kiss, great. And suddenly you go, oh, how do I show romance without someone kissing, or without them touching hands, or without them holding each other? And it means that in one way, whilst it's been challenging, it's also pushed us to be even more creative and to find even better and more sort of productive ways of getting these outcomes. So whilst it's been a challenge, it's also pushed us in a good way, those challenges.
How do you think production's coming along up to this point?
At this point, I think it's coming along quite well, to be fair. We're definitely ready, not 100% ready. We're just finishing the finale, but I think we're getting close to be ready for an audience pretty soon.
I think it's coming along really well. It's amazing to see how it's all coming together, because often we work different scenes in different rooms with different groups of people, and then when we put it all together at the end of the week, it's like, wow, when you see everything come together, I think it's going to be an amazing show. I'm so excited.
I feel like we're all working hard together to get it done as quickly as we can so that we can clean everything and refine everything before the show.
Everyone is working very hard, so there's rehearsals going on today. They've been going on for ages. They're going to keep going on, even though we've nearly finished getting to the end of Act 2 vocally. There's still a lot more work that we can put in and that we will put in.
I think it's gone really well. It's obviously been a bit hard because we've been in small rooms and the amphitheatre is so big that it's not really relative to the space, but we're getting through it and we're almost finished, so it's really exciting. I'm shocked at how well everyone's coping with the whole situation, because there are some days where some groups aren't really involved as much, so it takes a lot to keep the energy going and keep the motivation there, but everyone's doing a great job.
I think so, yeah. I think everyone's trying the hardest and doing the best that they can.
So much fun. It's just really nice to be back again and to be doing what we all love, and especially with such a good show. It's a challenge, but it's fun.
It's going really well. It's really strong. I was a little bit worried about it at first because we've never done anything this scale before, or at least I haven't. But it's going really well. The dances are strong, the singing's strong, and everything's coming together really nicely. Absolutely. It is, like I said, it's really, really tough at the minute to try and get through this. But everyone's putting in their effort and everyone's strong in different places. Like, some people are really good at singing, some people are really good at acting, and when that all comes together, you end up with a really strong cast, which is exactly what I think we've got.
What do you think's your favourite scene?
Favourite scene? Okay, probably Hellfire, because it's my massive song. And it is great fun. It's essentially an angry breakdown that I get to sing through, and great fun, full of emotion, and shouty.
This is going to sound really morbid, but I like the scene just before, like, Esmeralda's about to be, like, she's about to be put up for, like, execution, and it's like, it's a really nice scene because it's our, like, last moments with each other in a cell, and we get to sing a really nice song.
I think my favourite scene has got to be the Tavern song, because it's just full of energy and the scenery is just so lively that it just creates such a happy vibe, and I'm really excited to perform it.
My favourite scene to perform is Top of the World.
My favourite scene is Top of the World, where Esmeralda first meets Quasimodo in his like sanctuary, his bell tower, with loads of harmonies with the statues as well.
It's a really special moment between Quasimodo and Esmeralda, and also the statues, which mean everything to Quasimodo. And that's one of the only moments in the show where he's on top, where he's actually winning, because everything goes so bad for him in the show. But that moment's really special.
I think favourite scene for me is definitely Court of Miracles, as I have a few different personas during the show, and in that one I get to really let go and be quite nasty and a bit weird, and it's really fun.
What do you think of the amphitheatre? You're looking forward to performing there?
I am so excited. It just looks like the scenery in the film or something because of the stone. It's just, I'm so excited.
The acoustics of it, one of the things that excite me the most, because it just carries sound fantastically, and the fact that we're all going to be mic'd up as well, it's just going to send that even further, and it's going to sound amazing.
For the justice of the realm and for the salvation of Paris, it is my sacred duty to send this unholy demon back to her.
Yeah, definitely. We went and saw the space a couple of weeks ago and we're all really excited. I think it'll really bring the musical to life as well, because it's kind of the right set for it.
The amphitheatre's great. I think it suits like the style of the production really well. It looks like a cathedral, like all the stone. It just really suits it and complements it all. So I think it'll be good.
I'm really looking forward to performing in the amphitheatre. It's such like a prestigious venue that we've never had the opportunity to perform at. So yeah, it's really exciting and really cool.
Something new, like I've never done an outside show before.
It's the most beautiful venue I've ever seen, and I think it's the most perfect place we could do this show. It looks exactly how you'd imagine a stage to look if you had your dream stage. This is it.
No, definitely. We're used to doing it in theatres, on stage, indoors, in auditoriums with all the lights and everything. And so another one of the challenges is we won't have lighting because there isn't lighting. So we're having to make use of the natural light. So that's changed the time of day that we perform.
It's beautiful. It really is. It's nothing I've ever performed in before. And it's such an amazing space. Like it looks very historical. It's lovely and I cannot wait.
But the backdrop itself is just perfect for our show. It's set in the Notre-Dame Cathedral, and the stonework of the amphitheatre is going to lend itself, and it's also set in medieval times. So the audience sitting on those stone steps, the stone seats, is going to really feel actually like they're in a medieval theatre, because that's how it would have been back then. So it's going to really add to the ambience, I think.
What advice would you give your character if you could speak to them?
Don't be a dick. Quite simply, and control yourself, because he's a bit of a horny bastard, to put it politely.
Better stay here.
Stay.
In the cathedral with me.
I don't think that would be a very good idea.
No?
I see the way you look at me.
How dare you?
Oh, I would tell him to just love himself a bit more, because he is so wonderful and so incredible and so creative and such a kind person. And I would just say, you're doing great, Quasimodo, just have faith in yourself. And it seems no one else does, but I'd say believe in yourself because you're amazing.
I think just be yourself. A lot of my character is based around kind of like not being allowed to be who you want to be, and I think that's quite important for me personally. So I think I would just tell her to be her and be true to herself and look after her people.
Advice to Phoebus would probably be, don't be scared to talk about how you're feeling, because he was previously in the war. He's come back and he's got this big persona, this front that he puts on, and he has trouble properly connecting with girls and just does the lust but doesn't really talk about himself and do the love.
Strode a young cavalier, Captain Phoebus de Martin, at your side.
Dashing manner and bold swagger. Not quite conceal a haunted look in
I'd tell them just to go for it, be confident and be knowledgeable of what you're doing, because it'll look worse if you don't give it your full 110% than it would if you just went there and did everything you could.
I would definitely say that she needs to look out for herself more, because she's always looking after other people. She's like a very motherly character, looking after everyone, make sure everyone else is safe and putting herself in danger. So I think that's a very good trait, but she needs to look at herself as well.
Do you have any interesting rehearsal stories?
Well, just a small one. I often use a bench. I'm crouched on it or stood on it all the time. It's a bit wobbly, and so my first time practicing with the bench is in Out There, and I dived across it to lean forward and it completely fell over. I managed to catch it before I fell on the floor. But yeah, and it still wobbles now, so I'm scared I'll topple over in the show.
Do you think you've learned a lot from the process of putting on this production?
Yeah, I've learnt a lot about myself and how far I can push myself in, and how it's been working with masks and not being near anyone, because I'm so used to doing shows where you're in close proximity to each other, to then do a show where you're not allowed to touch each other or go anywhere near, and you've got masks on and everything sounds muffled. But yeah, it's been a cool experience.
Absolutely. I've learnt so much. I think I've had an incredible opportunity, especially because of this role and how intense it is. So I've pushed my body to places it's never gone before, and done so much research about the condition that Quasimodo has and everything. I've gone so in depth with the character that it's taught me so much that I hope to take for the rest of my life.
I've learnt what it's like to be in a full-scale rehearsal process, and also a lot of the professionalism. So a lot of the stuff that we'd done before, even on the course, felt quite different. It felt like it was for a college course, whereas now it very much feels like a professional production, got to be taken seriously, and I think we are taking it seriously. That's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, definitely. I think prior to this was obviously lockdown, so I hadn't done a show in over a year, so it's just been really, really good to kind of focus again and get ready for uni, and kind of enjoy that experience of what we all want to do together.
I do think I've learnt a lot. It's been fun to finally be able to do a show again, and after not being able to do any, I've had so many cancelled that having this one that's cemented and actually happening is great.
Hello, my name is Naomi, and within this show I'm a gypsy, dancer, narrator and fire spin.
Is it exciting having live fire on the show?
Yeah, that is one good thing about it. When we're tied up or whatnot, about to be hanged, I'm just looking over and there's Nettie twirling fire. That is pretty cool, to be fair.
I think it adds something different. I think normally when I perform with fire, as soon as I come out and there's flames, the audience are all a bit, ooh, what's that? And I think it adds something extra to the show. I think the show is amazing without it, but yeah, I think it's just a little quirky thing that we can say we've got. So I actually learned at a circus camp in Wales in, probably 2013, it's been a while.
At first I was a bit apprehensive because I was thinking there's going to be actual massive fire flames right next to where I'm dancing, but I can't really see them. I just know that they're there and I can smell them.
Feel dangerous spinning fire?
The first few times I did it lit, I was a bit scared, but no, I don't feel like I'm in danger. I guess I've just been doing it a long time. But
I think it's amazing. I think because in that scene, it's in the Court of Miracles, and Quasimodo and Phoebus are supposed to be really intimidated by everything that's going on. And so although the gypsies dancing are doing scary things and stuff, having fire just makes it so much more powerful and vivid and scary and cool as well.
What do you think of Esmeralda's death scene?
Esmeralda's death scene? Sad, obviously, because I'm Esmeralda's wife in the Hunchback, Notre-Dame. But no, I don't really get to see it because I'm still imprisoned at that point. So, but from the looks of things, we were trying to watch it from backstage, but the stone walls were covering all of the box, so I didn't get to see any of the smoke. But apparently, it looks good.
It's really emotional today. Really emotional. I made myself cry, which I never have done in rehearsals. But yeah.
Esmeralda's death scene is difficult because at the time that it happens, me and Phoebus are trying to look after the camp, but it can be a bit kind of awkward because we don't want to ruin the vibe, so we have to kind of stay out of the way but also be part of it. But I enjoy it. It's a good emotive scene.
Esmeralda! Esmeralda! Wake up! Wake up,
And what do you think of Frollo's death scene?
Yesterday I was really emotional, so the whole thing felt very dramatic and very real. And so before it's sort of been like we're just running through it, we're just marking the movements and stuff. But then yesterday it was like a proper death scene. I think it went really well. And obviously we can't do it how people would usually do it without COVID regulations and stuff. But I think it works. When you have the atmosphere and everything, I think it was powerful, I hope.
How do you think the dress rehearsal went?
I think it went really well. There were a few technical difficulties with like the wind and stuff, but that can't be helped.
It went good. Could have gone better, but hey, always room for improvement.
I think the dress rehearsal went well. Like, I think we're ready for an audience tomorrow. Few little mishaps, but they're all going to be gone by tomorrow.
But yeah, I think it went really well and everyone was feeling it more than ever. And I think when in dress rehearsals, because you have everything, you have all the props now, you have all the costumes, you're fully immersed in this world, like you're not wearing normal clothes, there's nothing about you that feels like you, so you can throw yourself into it more than any other time. So yeah, it brought everything to life.
Really good. I think we're ready for audience now, definitely. The vibe is there, and I think we just need that atmosphere from the audience to bring it all together.
How do you think your makeup went, your prosthetics?
I think it went amazingly. We had a test a few days ago and that went really well, but then yesterday I think that was the best it's been. It looked more realistic, like it was blended really well, and I felt so in character. Like having that just made everything come to life for me.
Is there anything you think you need to work on?
Me? Being able to cry without using Vicks Vapor Rub.
Applying enough sun cream for the duration of the show.
I think I need to do like a thorough warm-up, because yesterday was pretty hectic and I didn't really have time to prepare, but making sure I'm vocally warm will allow me to do everything I need to do with my voice.
Remembering props, because I forgot about 3.
No, not particularly. I basically had loads of dance exams this week, and now that they're gone I can focus on this, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready, pumped up.
I'm not nervous, but I'm excited. I'll be nervous just before we go on, but I'm excited.
I'm very excited. I barely slept because I'm so excited. I'm a little bit nervous because obviously you never know what's going to happen, and especially because we've had like wipeouts of the tech system and everything because of the heat. So like I'm worried about those things, but ultimately I'm very excited because whatever happens, I'm going to have a great time.
Pity on me. I have deserted myself. Fancies fill my head. Father, that I fall. The duty to send this unholy demon back to hell. Get down! Esmeralda, I told you, Master. I am very strong! You don't want her.
a strange outfit today, aren't I?
Something different.
Makes a change.
Right, and so, did you have fun putting on the night?
Yes, I had the best time ever.
Oh yeah, most fun of my life, I think. I genuinely can't think of anything I've enjoyed more than being down there, putting on the performance, even the rehearsals, just the whole process being fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. I think Clopine taught me loads as a person, but also pushed me kind of as a performer. And I think it was an amazing challenge, and it's one that I needed to get myself back into the game a bit.
Yes, oh my gosh, it was amazing. We've not done a show in so long that just being out on the stage, the atmosphere of the audience, like the setting, it was just amazing.
Do you think your death scene went well on the night?
I think it did. I think there was a bit of an issue with costume strangling me slightly, but I managed to fight through that. I feel like other than like one child who decided to laugh, it had the desired effect. But again, there's always going to be a child doing something wrong.
No, it went pretty much the same. And then on the final show, Zoe fell in the strangest position I've ever seen in my life, and I was like, she's going to break her neck. But I guess it added a dramatic flair, so...
And was it nice having a crowd on the night?
I've not seen an audience in anywhere for ages, and seen them, they're all there to see us and what we've done. It was a little bit overwhelming, but in the best way possible.
Having a big audience was amazing. From doing rehearsals from like a couple of people joining or just the directors watching, having an actual audience, it gave you that boost of energy to just carry on even if you were absolutely shattered.
Yeah, definitely. Even before we had a crowd in, we did the first sound check and I got really overwhelmed. So yeah, the audience made it, just kind of completed it, if that makes sense. And every night I got really overwhelmed in the finale to the point where I actually forgot what I was doing and just stared because it was a moment that I wanted to remember.
Yes, absolutely. I think it was actually really special on our final run through before we had audiences. It felt really special because it was just between us as a cast and as directors. But then when we had an audience, you suddenly become aware of like, we're showing this for the first time to a completely new audience. And at the end, we got a standing ovation and I was just absolutely shocked. And I looked at Millie, who was Clopine, and I just was like, oh my goodness, that's for us. And it was just the most incredible, overwhelming feeling.
And do you think you've learned a lot from this now it's all over?
Yes. I've learned a lot. I've learned everything about it and the processes and how much fun it is, how much I enjoy this and how much, even in an amateur way, I'd want to keep this going.
Yeah, I think I've definitely learned a lot about myself, about the musical, what it teaches you, like the character as a whole. Yeah, I've absolutely loved the experience and I feel like it's taught me loads to take forwards with me.
Yes, I learned so much. This has taught me more than anything else I've ever done at college, by far.
Oh yeah, and did anything stand out on the night as being like really good?
I think one thing that stood out to me was over the nights, I think I personally let myself go more and more. I think others did, and it became bigger, louder, more of everything every night until right on the last one, which really stood out. This was just us giving everything, and I think the audience really appreciated that, and everyone got quite emotional at the end, and yeah, that last performance really stood out as something special.
I think each time we hit like an end note of something, it just got bigger and better each time. And also the vibe of the audience like resonated with us as like a vibe as a cast. And I think those two kind of just sparked in the air and it just felt amazing.
And do you think Esmeralda's death scene was different with all like the crowd there?
Yes, that was also different. And on the final show, I twisted my ankle as I stepped off the box. And then I realised she was just going to fall off the stage. So I just grabbed her in my arms and fell on my back. So it was totally wrong. I wasn't meant to fall over, but I did. But I guess it was more dramatic too.
I think my death scene went well. I thought I was going to fall off the bench multiple times, but I didn't. But yeah, it's obviously quite, in the moment, it's quite emotional. I did cry quite a few times, but yeah, I think it went well.
How do you think it all went on the night?
I think it went really well. Obviously, with any performance, there's going to be some mistakes, but I think we got through them quite well. Lots of intensity, which I really enjoyed. It was exhausting, emotional, but really spectacular.
So amazing. I think it was exactly what we were aiming for, and we had the right vibe and everything just came together even more so than it had in rehearsals.
And are you looking forward to putting on more shows in the future?
Yes, yeah, very much so. Until doing the show, it was more it'll be fun to keep it going. Now, I'm not sure I could go without it. It's definitely going to be a big part of my future.
Yes, I feel like I've not been on stage in so long, and just having that small glimpse of being back on stage and performing again was the best experience ever.
As a few have said, like, this was my first time performing in about 18 months, and it just made me realise that this is what I want to be doing. Like, this is exactly what I want to do, so I can't wait for the next step and the next journey into doing more in the future.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. And there was a moment where I was becoming really heartbroken about leaving and like about this show being over and moving on to something else. And then I just thought, you know, it's been the best experience ever, which means the next one will be the best experience ever, and I'll keep having these amazing experiences. So then I just chose to enjoy every second of it, and I did. I had the best time, and I can't wait to do the next thing.